Hey guys, what's going on? Hope everybody's having a good day out there. Thanks for taking a few minutes out of your day to check the video out. And today we're going to be talking about spoon fishing, and I'm going to try to do everything I can to simplify spoon fishing, give you guys some good pointers, let you build a foundation on it if you don't have a lot of experience on it. And even if you do have a lot of experience in spoon fishing, maybe some of the tips that I share with you guys will help you catch a few more bass. But I've been having quite a few requests to do a spoon video, so here we go. And on top of that, I just want to let everybody know that my plan is to get out on the water and do more videos on the water. I know you guys probably get tired of the tackle room here, but man, I'm just trying to squeeze these videos in just the spare minutes of time I got in my day, because guys, I just don't have much time. I'd love to get the channel to a point where I could do it more, but just got a lot of other stuff on my plate right now. So anyway, I'll try to give you guys the best info I can. And one quick thing I want to bring up here, I just did a video earlier today on my I'm reviewing some channels, critiquing the channels, and man, I get so many comments on a lot of these videos I do of people that don't even watch the video and they comment on the title. So guys, please, before commenting on the video, please at least watch the video, because a lot of times I hear these comments about things that I address in the video that aren't true in their comment. So you got to at least watch the video before you make a comment on it, man. That's just a given. Okay, anyway, let's get into the spoon deal a little bit. Man, I've been fishing spoons forever. I mean, ever since, probably started fishing them in the late 1970s. They've been around a long time. For many years, they were sort of like they were the go-to winter bait. Back, a lot of you guys that haven't been fishing as long as I have, or a lot of guys that, that have been fishing as long as I have, winter fishing was different. Summer fishing was different. Anytime you're talking about fishing a jigging spoon, which is normally in the winter, summer, or fall months, you had these misconceptions and preconceived ideas. And a lot of people back in the day thought that spoons was one of the few ways you could catch deep fish in those times of the year, and that's not really true. But what I want to do is I want to go through, I've got 4 different spoons that I use for most situations. I want to go through each one of them, and I'm going to show you guys applications for it when I use it. So anyway, and they're all jigging or some type of flutter spoon. So anyway, let's talk. I'm going to go from big to small. So let's talk out about the big ones. I mean, the big Magnum spoons like this is just a 6-inch model, have come on really strong in the last few years. You see, you've got 7, 8-inch spoons out there, these big Magnum flutter spoons that guys use on ledges and that type of stuff. Personally, I don't like that big of a spoon. I mean, I've caught some fish on it, but for me, when I'm talking about a big Magnum spoon, a flutter spoon, I like just like this 5 or 6-inch model right here. This is about 3/4 ounce spoon, and this spoon right here, it's not really designed to be jigged like a jigging spoon. For me, the best application, there's 2 different situations that I do well on a big flutter spoon. One is basically as a supplemental deep water bait. If I'm fishing secondary points, main lake points, and I'm catching them dragging a football head jig, a Carolina rig, swim bait, something like that, this is like a really good backup lure to generate a strike from bass that won't hit other type of lures. So I'm fishing this bait normally in 10 to 25 foot of water, make long casts out there with it, and just rip it off the bottom, let it slowly, fall back. Rip it off the bottom, let it slowly fall back. And a lot of times what you have, if you've got a hot school of fish that have stopped biting, you can throw these big flutter spoons in there and get a few more fish out of them. The other time that I use this thing is around boat docks. It's a big deal around here in the Ozarks where I fish. If you guys have a lake like Lake Lanier in Georgia, any of the Ozark lakes, some of the eastern Tennessee and Kentucky lakes that have those big marina docks and clear water, in the winter and the summertime, this is a great technique. You basically just pitch this thing around the dock edges and corners, pitch it back in the slips, let it freeze fall down all the way to the bottom, watch your line on the way down, and I usually pitch it out there, let it sink 10 or 15 feet, pump it a couple times, free spool it down, let it sink another 5 feet, pump it a couple times, and it's a really good way to catch fish on deep boat docks. Okay, the next spoon I use we're into the jigging spoons now. This is my workhorse. This is a 3/4 ounce jigging spoon. This is old school as it gets, guys. This is like a black jigging pork frog type thing. I fished a 3/4 ounce jigging spoon forever, all over the country, caught a ton of fish on it. And this is the bait that I'm using when I'm vertical fishing over bass that I either can see on my electronics or that are setting on some type of hard structure breaks or over suspended timber. One of my favorite ways to fish a 3/4 ounce spoon in the fall, winter, summertime, any of those three, is I get out on those long points right where it drops off sharp on the point ends and sides, and I get right on that drop and I vertical jig this spoon, you know, right over those drops. And most of the time now with our electronics, you're basically dropping this down on fish that you can see. But again, the same technique with it. On this particular bait, I'm usually using 12 to 15 pound test line, letting it go all the way to the bottom, jerking it straight up off the bottom, jerking it straight up off the bottom like that. And you know, the jerk depends on the aggressiveness of the fish. I don't like to pop it super hard because the harder you jerk these things, the more the hooks will file on the line. So I usually use like a 6-inch, you know, pop like that, 6-inch pop, let it go back down. It's a great way to cover a lot of deep water. What I'll do is I'll get out on those point breaks and the, you know, the drop offs, whatever, and I'll just pitch it out in front of the boat, just like I'm working down a bank, and I pitch it like 10 or 15 feet in front of me, let it free spool down, and by the time the bait gets to the bottom, my boat's right over the top of it, and that's where I'm vertical jigging. But I can cover a lot of deep water in a hurry with this 3/4 ounce spoon. The next one I use is a 1/2 ounce spoon in white. Now this white spoon right here, the time that I use a white spoon primarily is in the winter time. I found out that anytime you're in a water situation where those bass are deep in the winter time, where they're in that, say, that 20 to 50 foot zone, and you have water visibility of over 3 feet, a white spoon will generate a lot more bites than a silver spoon will. I just catch a ton of fish on it. 1/2 ounce is my favorite size. Seems like it matches the size of the bait fish a little bit more. Here you can see the difference in the size between the 3/4 and the 1/2. But same deal, guys, with this. I'm in those areas where I feel those bass are at in the wintertime, suspended over treetops, on breaks, on ledges, that type of stuff. Dropping it vertical on 12 to 15 pound test line. But the white will definitely get you more bites than the silver. And finally, is my last one is my little junior, and that's a little 1/8 ounce jigging spoon. And here's the difference between the two. Here's the 3/4 ounce and the junior, and you can see the difference between the 6-inch spoon and the junior. This little junior model right here is one of my key baits to use in the summertime, because when you're talking about, like right now, July, August, when I did this video, that's when a lot of the shad are really small. They've hatched out in late spring. They're about 1.5 inches long now, and I'll take these little spoons, these little 1/4 ounce, 1/8 ounce jigging spoons like this, over the same type of areas, point in, point sides, over the top of trees, around boat docks, channel breaks, bluff ends, that type of stuff, fishing it vertical in that same type of area. It's also a really good bait for schooling fish. If you guys see busting fish, they're coming up to the surface out on points, you can throw this little 1/8 ounce spoon out there, which will cast to a mile, by the way, and catch a lot of fish for schooling fish. I do use the 1/8 ounce spoon on a spinning rod. I use it with 10 pound test fluorocarbon line. I feel like I can get better feel with it. I don't like to use over 10 pound test, and the spinning rod allows me to really be a lot more efficient with that. So anyway, guys, here's my lineup. That's you know, there's my 3 jigging spoons right there. The white ones, 3/4 ounce and the 1/8 ounce. And then I've got my big flutter spoon right there. That basically covers all your spoon fishing needs. In future videos, I'll probably get to the lake eventually, and I'll do videos on each one of these spoon categories down the road, but that's for another day down the road. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the tip. Hope it helped you catch a few more bass. If you haven't subscribed to that channel, please do so, and we'll check in later. See you.